Hello guys, today we prepare a typical recipe from Tuscany. It's called in Italian language, the original name is Tonno del Chianti. That maybe the translation could be Chianti Tuna. But like Gabriele, they give us the recipe, say in the Chianti area where there is a good wine, there is no the sea, so no tuna. This is called also fake tuna, because instead of the fish we will use the pork loin. But after that we cook it and put in the jar and everything will be like the tuna, the canned tuna, in olive oil that I posted already the video. If like Gabriele, thank you Gabriele for sharing your recipe with us. You have some recipe that you want to share from your country, from your area, from your region, you can write me here under the video on Instagram, send me an email like Gabriele have done. In this way I will try to learn more about food culture worldwide, and I will try to make the video. We should start with the broth. I have already put the broth on the stove. For the broth you need 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 clove, 2 bay leaves, 1 glass of white wine, 1 clove of garlic, 1 onion, piece of celery, 5 juniper berries, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 2-3 carrots, I peel them because after I want to eat them, and 5 sprig of parsley. We complete with 2 liters of water and we put on the stove. Now we should wait that our broth start boiling. During this time we can prepare our meat. As a meat I will use pork loin. You can also use pork arist. I don't know if it's the right translation, but you need a piece of meat without fat. So now we clean our meat. You should use at least 1 kilogram of meat, because after you will cook for 3 hours and 30. So here I have more or less 1.5 kilogram. So we remove this little bit of skin and the fat. After that you clean your meat, you remove all the fatty part. We should cut our meat in chunk, big pieces, like the tuna. Remember that after you should put it in the jar, so try to find the dimension that can fit in the jar. We must cook the meat 3 hours, 3 hours and 30. So see you later. After 3 hours and 30, we switch off the fire and we wait until our tuna, our pork, reach the room temperature. During this time, you can prepare your jar. When reach the room temperature, we remove from the broth. Please keep the broth for other recipe. Perfect for little pasta, we call pastina. With the rice, you can cook the rice inside, or you can use it for risotto. Check only the salt. If it's a little bit salty, you can add a little bit of water. We put on the kitchen towel, like I was saying, because it should dry a little bit. And after we put in the jar. What kind of jar we need to use? Jar that are open like this. In this way it will be easier to remove it from the jar. What kind of spices we can use with our fake tuna? The tradition say black pepper, juniper, bay leaves, but like Gabriele mentioned, you can use also chili. I will use, because I like it, capers. Others I will use black peppers, bay leaves. Some people put also garlic, but many complain that it's dangerous, so I will skip it also because I don't like strong taste of garlic. You have different options. If you use big jar like this, maybe you can put a big chunk of meat, of tuna, sorry. But if you want, like in the small jar, you can break a little bit your tuna, like this, and put inside in small pieces. Or you can preserve it. If you eat it in 1 week, after that you fill with the oil, you can store in the fridge. After 3 days should be ready, because the oil will give the taste to your meat. If you want to store for a little bit more, maybe the small one, I will store it, put in a pot again, cover with the water. When the water starts boiling, you turn off the fire and you wait until reach the room temperature. In this way will be kind of vacuum and can last maybe 2 months. You can keep it here in the kitchen. If you have a basement, even better. So really, I'm adding a lot of black peppers and a lot of capers because I like it, but up to you. If you try it, let us know what kind of spices you add to your tuna. More meat you put in the jar, less oil you need, because it's very important. If you want to do it in a Tuscany way, you need to use extra virgin olive oil. Don't worry, the oil is expensive, but after you can use it on your bruschetta or when you cook. Okay, I put the last piece of meat, maybe in this other small jar, and after I can fill it with the oil. It's very important that the oil fill all the holes. You will notice that there is no bubbles looking around the jar, and also because there is no bubbles coming up on the top, on the surface of our oil. This means that we are ready to store it. So this small jar I will put in the fridge, 1 small and 1 big, and the other 3 small I will boil them so I can store it for 1-2 months. See you in 3 days for the tasting. The smell is already spectacular. I will eat it with a fresh salad, but you can also eat it with beans and fresh onion, up to you. Spectacular. Be only careful to the oil. Also, I will drink together homemade beer. Spectacular day together, really match. Okay guys, remember to subscribe to the channel, to leave me a like, to watch and share this video with your friends. Thanks again to Gabriele for this recipe. See you in the next video. One thing, remember that if you want to store for a long time, at least 2 months, should be vacuum, so the lid should be down. If you want to store 10 days, you can close the jar and store in the fridge. Bye bye.